I've got a show today for you people. A show. Best in Show.
Best.
That's a great film also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. We're on the YouTubes. So you'll be able to find the link. And I will start the show. And here we are. Mandalorian. Season 2. Chapter 13. The Jedi. That's right, kids. Here on JLJ Media. That's right. We got sound effects, kids. We're moving up in the world, JLJ Media. We're working it out. I'm one of your hosts, James Lott Jr. Now, you know today's show, it's all about this guy who's, well, the way I'm looking at him, he's above me. I think he's next to me in the final edits, but he's above me. Ryan Nilsen. Tell him, Ryan. Tell him.
Ryan Nilsen, thank you guys so much for joining in on this Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5, The Jedi After Show. Rocking the Ahsoka Tano shirt, because we finally got her, ladies and gentlemen. You can see me on SEN Monday through Friday, Schmoes Entertainment Network. I'm psyched to be here, James Lott.
I know you. I know you are. I thought of you from the opening frames. I thought they could. Well, we're gonna talk about exactly how it went down. Me and the Baby Yodas, which we found out his name. So about that too on the show, but they decided to join us.
Whoa! Oh, I sensed a little. Maybe there's some thoughts. Okay, we'll get to it.
So very interessante. So we're talking about all that in this wonderful show that was out today. This season's just been amazing, and we're getting people in the chat room already. Let's see you guys in the chat room already. I'm sure folks
tweeting it out, folks. Tweeting it out. This is a love fest today on air. Yes. This is what we've been waiting for. You know, some people. First, I'm going to ask James. Happy Thanksgiving, and we're thankful for all of you tuning in. But how was your Thanksgiving, James?
It was good. I tweeted out my little plate of food. I made food for myself. I stayed home. I actually saw some family today. Actually, I didn't see them yesterday. But yesterday, it was a day of quietness. The strange Macy's Day Parade without people on the sidelines. That was a little strange. And I watched a lot of television. I work in television. I don't get to watch a lot of it. So yesterday, it was lots of naps and lots of television and lots of food that I made. I make game hens. I don't do turkey. It's my tradition.
I hear you.
And so my game hens came out great. I made a French vanilla cake, which was really nice. I made yams from scratch. I did all this stuff. And dressing and stuff. So it was really a lot of fun, and it was great. So how was yours?
That's wonderful. It was great. It was just with the immediate fam. Had a delicious fried turkey.
I love fried turkey.
I know, and you've seen horror videos online.
Yes.
But I taped it. Everything was safe. My dad did it perfectly. Having a little cocktail right now.
Yeah, congratulations. Cheers to you, Ryan.
Cheers. Oh, I'm loving the mug.
I just got this, everybody.
Oh my goodness!
It was given to me. It came with hot chocolate. So
I got mugs of the of 1 through 6 movies. I haven't got any.
Really?
I do, yeah. But I need one for Mandalorian, especially after today.
Yes. Okay, folks. I'm going to start. I'm just going to say really quick. The only down thing I have to say about this series is only one thing. There are no supporting characters, really. They're like, they come on an episode, then they go away. They come on an episode. I almost wish there was because as we're going to get into you guys. So, first of all, I say this every episode. Spoiler alert. There's spoilage happening on this episode. Trust me, we'll be spoiling it all. I'm going to say that. So now I said that, and you said that. Boba Fett's still out there. There's other people that are still out there. Like they were saying, I'm like, people are like, well, are we only getting Homegirl one time? I'm like, well, I don't know. But there's other people that are still out there that we haven't even got to. I mean, Moff Gideon is still out there. Like there's people like, so it's kind of, that's my only, they've introduced some great characters this season and brought back and reintroduced some great characters this season. I wish there were a little more supporting cast. That's the only thing I will say.
Well, the season hasn't ended yet, James Lott Jr. And if they weren't season 1, a lot of those supporting characters came back in the finale, and they were more than just supporting characters.
They did.
So we'll see what happens. But we got the best of the best
Ryan,
supporting characters today.
Take it away, Ryan. I was excited for you, so take it away.
Oh my gosh. Well, just real quick, and this might come off as a shameless plug, but I assure you it's much more. I tweeted yesterday 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Was thinking about how to phrase this, but as a longtime Ahsoka Tano fan, this is a character that when the 2008 movie came out, people did not like her. Now, this is a toxic fandom, but there's, I think, really, really amazing parts of it. And yes, some were just the toxic fans not reacting well to this like new female character, but then also people just had some ordinary problems you have with any character that's being introduced to a big popular franchise. She called Anakin Skywalker Sky Guy. She was holding Jabba the Hutt's baby. She was Darth Vader's Padawan. Did Darth Vader ever have a Padawan? Who is this girl? And then 7 seasons of the Clone Wars, 4 seasons of Star Wars Rebels. She's there. She develops. She's one of the best characters ever. And now this was the climactic moment, people. It was the climax for some and the start for many others. We've got her in live action, Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka Tano. I think this is probably the most redeemed character in the history of movies and TV. I can't think of another character that has been introduced and got hate worse than Jar Jar from the initial introduction of her. And now she is the pinnacle, ultimate plot point of Mandalorian season 2. Just bravo for Dave Filoni and all the creators that pulled that off. Wow, she was awesome. From the first scene, the first action scene, the white blades. Oh my gosh, the white blades, people. The white blades. It was everything. I was gobsmacked. This episode left me so satisfied, so happy. And not to like rain on other Star Wars content parades, but it does make me wonder, man, if with the sequel trilogy, they really tried to go for the hardcore fans, they harkened back to some of the smaller media, would it have been more exciting? We'll never know, but I know for sure that this season is the most exciting thing to be happening in Star Wars right now.
Well, everything I read, post show is Ryan's gone now. That's Ahsoka. Has been favorable. I mean, her appearance has been favorable, and that that doesn't always happen either. A lot of times people are like, nah. But no, it's all favorable, and she really is making it. Just that this appearance today, it's making a lot of people
I've
happy.
had this Lego action figure of Ahsoka Tano for 6 years.
Yeah. Oh, how cute! Oh my goodness,
pretty awesome. No, she killed it, and everyone's loving it. I mean, James Lott, when was the last time Star Wars was this exciting? Like, when was the last time there was this much excitement in the air around Star Wars? I think it was when Force Awakens came out. I think it was then, because since then it's always been a little mixed, but this is like the most, wow, everyone seems to be on the same page. We're all enjoying it.
That's true. Force Awakens.
Fumble.
That's the Force is mighty.
Force is in there.
I was trying to think, maybe the first spin-off movie, maybe. No, I guess that was
Rogue One.
Yeah, there was excitement for Rogue One because we were going to see what was going to, and that was the promise of more of them to come. Obviously, a whole you can do a whole side thing, and I feel like those two, because when Darth Vader comes out at the end of Rogue One, okay, if you didn't see the movie, they got all of us excited. We didn't expect that, and it wasn't the cuddly, cute Darth that we all come to love at this point. It was Darth Vader. I mean, he just like, bye, buddy, you're getting killed. And they all get killed. I mean, the whole thing was a very shocking, but like it made sense ending. People were excited. People were taught that. So I guess this. I would say this is the most exciting thing. Yes,
it's heating up. It's heating up for sure.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to that first scene?
So for me, I was just shocked that it happened so fast. I mean, again, they went right into the thing. There was no like slow build up. It wasn't like he didn't land on the planet first and then we see her. It was her first. It was almost like Dave was like, and the writers were like, okay, folks, we're not gonna just shit anybody. We're just gonna get out there and just do it. We're all waiting for her. Let's set it up. The island, of course, is very Asian-esque. The way it was set up, the way the water, the architecture, and there were Asians in the show, of course, but it wasn't that. It was very the way the landing to the behind the gates.
Right.
Very Asian-esque for me. I like that part.
I think a lot of people have compared this show to a Western, and I think this episode was like a samurai movie.
Yes, that's exactly, because even their fight, even the well, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
This what's to get to. But the opening scene was very cool. It was just, I like it. Action. That's what the show does. The show doesn't play around. It literally does just get right into the action, and we get to see her in her glory take out all these people and set up the plot point of she wants something from the magistrate. She wants something from them, and we'll get into further of that too. So it's like, okay, action. We see what she can do. Here's the plot point story. Boom.
Here she is. I was worried it was gonna be like he's looking for her the whole episode, because up until we saw it, it was like, maybe she isn't in this one. Like, maybe she is. We'll probably see her at the very end. Like, we didn't know what we were going to get, right? I knew we were going to get her, but we didn't know if we were going to, like, get her. And the first scene,
no,
we got her. We got her.
Yes, it's very, very interesting. So, I liked it. I liked that thought. For me, of course, I know of her, seen her in a few things here and there. So it was a nice introduction to another strong female character. Strong female villain character. Didn't see that. I like, to me, it was like, okay, the chicks. I was like, okay, there's gonna be a showdown at some point. Ryan, I was ready. I was like, and it happened, but I was like, I loved it. I was like, okay, good. We're saying, I like when they kind of explain it to you. It's like, here's the premise. Here, we're gonna set up for you, and now you can wait and see what's gonna happen. And Mandalorian does that so well, where it's like they give you the beginning, they give you kind of an end point, and then they show you, they show us how they get there, if they get there.
Yeah, and they never really explained what was going on with that village, but we could, through context clues, you could kind of figure it out. It was like there's a high class, low class, there's like a dictatorship kind of happening here, and she's trying to free them. There's some prisoners. Like, we could kind of piece it together, and I kind of liked how they didn't go out of their way to really walk us through whatever was happening there, because that wasn't really Mandalorian's story. He was just coming in to help, essentially.
Yeah, sometimes there's too much exposition. So they call it in the business exposition, where they'll like give you a little story to lead to some. There's times you don't need that. It's almost kind of like, I don't even know every detail. It's fine. We get it's bad there. Like, you get they set up enough where it's bad. You don't want to be there. Not that good. And so we see that. But I also liked seeing the lightsabers. I mean, it's like seeing the blade. That was very Star Warsian. I know it's not a word, but it's very Star Warsian to me. It was just like, oh my God, this is like,
oh yeah,
I love it.
Oh, and the hiding in the shadows, like disappearing into fog. Like, they're just so cool, igniting and then turning them off. Oh, I'm in.
I loved it. So then we get into where then Mando and child arrive. The ship's doing fine. They arrive. He gets the child likes the little knob thing, and takes it. And so when Mando gets into the townsfolk and he finds out, the one guy was like, "Don't talk to us. Don't talk to anybody."
Yeah.
They bring him to the magistrate, and of course I was like, "Of course they're going to ask him to do something. Of course they are. Like, of course they're going to." He can't land anywhere. Poor Mando. He can't go anywhere without being asked to do something. It's like,
I knew we should ask him. He's probably good.
Yeah, it's like, well, just use him. He'll do it. I mean, it's like they always bother him. Poor thing. He's on a mission. Mando is on a mission, people.
On a mission.
Things. He's on a mission.
But the key line there when they do ask him is they're like, Jedi and Mandalore, or Jedi and Mandalorians, they're ancient rivals. They're ancient enemies of each other. So further pushing that idea that they're in the past, there was this big, rivalry, combat fight, if you will, between them. And I guess that's kind of settled over time, but it's still, people know about it. It definitely, it's almost like the Revolutionary War in a way. Like, we all know what happened. And now it's a different time, but like, there's history there.
Yeah, I agree. And then when she shows him this staff that's made out of the same metal as the suits, I was like, oh, so if you do this, it'll spear. If you take out Homegirl, and she didn't say it like that, but what she had said was, I need you to kill her, Ahsoka Tano, I'll give you the spear. This is yours. You can have it. And he's interested, but also he was looking for her. So that's why he landed. So I was like, you're not going to kill her. I mean, he was there looking for her because he needs to deliver the child, right? And so he's like, sure, okay, sure, homegirl. Oh, I'll do it, whatever. Sure. And then when they see each other, I did get my heart dropped a couple of times. Like little pump beats. I was like, oh my God, we are.
And
There they are.
the build up was great. The build up was like he's walking through the woods, he's got
Yeah.
little baby Yoda in the patch. And and I think even before he left, Michael Biehn is in this episode.
Yes, he is a great actor who's played villains and good guys and
Kyle
many.
Reese.
Yes,
Yeah.
man, yes,
Oh,
yeah,
I mean, Aliens. Yeah. James Cameron's like old favorite. At one
yes.
point, he's like, what's that in the bag? He's like, keep it around for good luck. We're all
Yeah.
like, okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, but I mean, going through the forest, there was even a little cool Easter egg for anyone who watched the show Rebels. There was a little owl on one of the trees because this forest, I was under the impression this was going to be like this big forest planet. It looked like all the trees were dying. I don't really know what was going on there, but there was one owl, and that is owls kind of follow everywhere in the Rebels series, especially around
Oh,
Ahsoka. So that was a little foreshadowing, like we're about to get her. Here she
uh,
comes. And like an owl, she just comes from the trees and catches him off guard.
okay, got it. Did not know that.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So that's good. And then they see each other, and he's like, "I'm here. I'm looking for you, basically." And
Remember they were gonna fight, and he's just like Ahsoka. Like he was like, I don't even want to.
right.
I don't even want to
It was
risk
so
it.
fast. It was so fast. It was like, okay, well, no, wait a minute. I need you.
Chill.
Yeah, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. And they did. So I kind of like that. They got right, because when I saw that it was 47 minutes long, I was like, well, it's gonna be. They didn't drag nothing out. Nothing was dragged out. It was longer, but it went by fast to me. It was so when it was over, I was like, oh, it's over. Like, oh, it was over. So anyway, so the child and her are communicating.
Oh my god. Well, and she's like, what do you want to talk about? I hope it's him. Like, oh, I hope it is too. I hope so too. But yeah, they're doing a little, like telepathic.
Yeah, because she said, we feel each other's thoughts.
Which sounded, yeah.
Very Star Wars too, where not all the communication is vocal. I like that. It's like they're talking to each other.
And we learn a ton here.
Yes, we do. But it all begins and ends with his name. Say it, Ryan. Say his name, Ryan. Say
Grogu. It. What do we think? Grogu.
I guess it kind of fits, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess.
I thought about it because right when they revealed it, I was like, oh my God, we're getting his name. I didn't realize that's a huge task because you just had a whole year and a half of people calling him Baby Yoda.
Right.
Like it's Baby Yoda.
No, we know it's not his name. It's the child.
Or the child. Like that's or the kid. Like that's what people as audience members, characters have just been referring to him as. And now they're like, here's the name. That could have gone south really badly. I think there's a ton of names that if it was bad, it would have been bad. I don't think this was a bad name. I think this name fits that species. I think it's definitely going to grow on me over time. I immediately did like it, but I have heard the opposite from a few people. Where do you lie?
Yeah, I don't hate it.
That's an endorsement.
It's an endorsement. I don't hate
it. I just have all this memorabilia that says the child on it.
Yeah, wow,
it's out of date. No.
No. If I have to grow on me, but what the thing I did like was the reveal. That's the part that made me go, oh, they're giving us a name. Okay, I didn't expect that either. Did not expect that. Saw that nowhere. Never saw that we would get a name from him. So I like the reveal. I like there was a reveal of a name. They also forward story. They give us more about him. So that part I like. The name I have to kind of sit with that for a while. Right. But we find out she mentions Yoda. Oh
my God. And what a great scene too, where first we're given the backstory, because that was another thing. Like, oh, we know the name. Oh, and now we're gonna actually hear his entire backstory.
He was raised in the Jedi Temple.
Coruscant,
after the Clone Wars. He was someone took him in the temple. And that's the whole thing. So and we also know, we link up with the other stuff from the other episode, that he was being experimented. His blood was being stressed. So we're getting the pieces together. So
everything's coming together. And when she mentions, I only knew one other member of his species, a great master named Yoda. If you pay attention, I'm getting chills thinking of this. You can hear the music for 5 seconds, like go into the Yoda theme. Classic Star Wars music. It's a magical moment.
Yes, I totally agree. But I got chills when she mentioned that. I got chills.
I mean, just hearing all this stuff, like, wow, like we're going to the prequels, we're going to the sequels, we're going to the originals, like everything's at play here. And this is like what we've been waiting for, man. Like, what other episode, like what other anything, it just connects to all these movies. Oh, it was heaven. It was great.
It's so funny because, and you could test this also. It all so far everything makes the timelines make sense.
Yeah,
that's also hard too. You got to figure out. You got to make sure this is all kind of following some kind. Because one wrong word, one wrong sentence, then suddenly it's like, well, no, that's not what happened over here. And then you get this over because Star Wars is such a vast universe. Expands.
Oh yeah. I mean, even with the aging, I was a little worried. Like, oh, would Ahsoka be older? And then they said that the first episode of this show, they're like species age differently. That's why Baby Yoda. I mean, hey, not Baby Yoda, Grogu. Gosh, it's gonna take a minute.
I know.
But he's 50, and he's that little baby. So I mean, it's the timeline. They're making it work.
They're making it work. So I think somebody like you who's watched all the different ones. I think it's fine. I think it's doing fine. So I like that. But yeah, we got his backstory. So again, that was another great fill in for us and advance his story. So now we kind of know where he came from.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, we're so excited.
Right.
They were just saying that they said the Force gives him the powers, of course.
Right.
We kind of knew that already. And so she wants to test him. So this part was very interesting. Again, we got some more stuff, more layers, and more layers are being just revealed.
It's like a flip, right? It's a flip of Empire Strikes Back, where we were so used to Yoda seeing like that creature, like Yoda train Luke, and now we're seeing someone like Ahsoka train Grogu.
Well, maybe.
Love that. Well, maybe.
Well, at this point, we're like, and she said, I can't. What she kept saying, I can't train him.
Oh.
And when she tries with the stone or whatever, and he doesn't do this thing, but she was saying, you guys have a connection. So here's where my cockles stood in the back of my neck from the original series, because I like how Mando's so protective of him. He doesn't understand what you're doing. He doesn't understand what you're saying. Like, he's like a total father, being protective of little Grogu. I can't even say his name. Can't even say his name. Grogu, right?
Grogu.
See, that's
I think it's like the dip Rogu, but with a G.
All I know is Yoda sounds easier to say. Oh, Yoda's easier to say.
Yoda's a little easier to say.
But hi, Michael B. He's 50, so he's covered. That's so funny. Grogu. Oh my God,
Grogu, yeah.
So who do you think? Michael B's like, who do you think is going from Temple? I don't know. But here's the thing. Okay, so anyway, so I get the point of. So she doesn't get him to do the thing that she wants him to do. Well, Mando tries, and he has that little knob thing he took off the ship, and with his hand teleports it to him, and that's what makes her go, wait a minute, you can't train him. This is where I got excited.
Yeah,
you can't train him because he's too attached to you. And you know how that went before. I seen it happen once before, and I'm like, Luke, talking about Luke Skywalker. If you don't know Luke.
Well, but also Anakin.
And Anakin too. But I went straight to Luke at first. But I guess for her, it'll be Anakin maybe.
I think it's absolutely Anakin for her, because I don't even that's a whole nother interesting point though. Does she know who Luke is? We'll see.
Right.
But I definitely think she's referring to Anakin there. Obviously, she's Anakin's Padawan, and she even goes, I've seen what attachments can do to even the best of us. And we know Anakin turned. And, Anakin's attachment was Padme. He was going to do anything to keep her from dying. Right. And he ended up being the reason she died.
Yeah.
This is the same thing in a way. It's not a romantic connection. It's like a father-son like companion connection with Mando. I really thought that was incredibly compelling and a really valid reason for her not to immediately say yes to training him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's Anakin, of course, but I thought of Luke also. But either way, it's like the whole point is you can't be attached, because when you have attached, it's just like an old. It's even an old spy thing, an old thing. It's, you can't do it.
You're so right. It is Luke too. Also. I mean, and that was the same thing in Empire. Like, he was so attached to saving his friends, and he gets his hand cut off. Like, You're right.
Right. So because people keep saying, was Luke going to come on the show? I'm like, I don't know, because Vader can't come on the show because he's gone. But Luke could come on the show. So I'm saying maybe they would do that because Luke could come on at some point. But it was cute when he responded to his name, when Mando called him by his name. He looked up.
He perked up.
It was like, oh, his name. It was cute. It was so cute. Yeah, it's the child has abilities. Obviously, we know that. We've seen little pieces here and there,
right,
of his abilities. It's just been I think they wisely have sparsed it out. They haven't given away everything with him, which is a good storyline point. Got to drag it out a little bit. So
we got a lot with him now,
right? So, but we got a lot of information on this one. So, but there's an attachment. So the chick's name is the magistrate. Her name is Morgan Elsbeth.
Morgan, yeah, I wrote that down too. Morgan Elsbeth. It's unique to see a name like Morgan pop up in Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. I was like, Morgan, go on, Morgan.
All right, Morgan.
So they tell her story that her people were killed were massacred during the Clone Wars. So she's angry. So it's always funny. These shows, good and evil. So either some people go the good direction and some go the other direction of revenge. But it's always kind of like, it's always born out of something tragically happening to them, which turns them one way. And that's a very Star Wars way also, obviously. Anakin was not evil, born evil. He turned to Darth later. It's kind of like, we've had this talk on other shows. People ask me, do I treat Anakin and Darth as two separate people? Actually, I do. I know it's the same person, but I treat them almost like two different people.
Exactly. And I think it said, her people were slaughtered during the Clone Wars, and that she was someone who helped build Imperial star fleets. So now we're post-original, and she's still around. And that was one little thing that they very cunningly kind of put breadcrumbs in, like, wait, how is she still involved? What's the reason Ahsoka, like, what does she need? What information, what knowledge? And they like very, it was very, very subtle how they were kind of piecing that along throughout the episode until the end. But she gives Din Djarin or the Mandalorian the lowdown, and he's like, I'll help, but you got to help me. It's another give and take, as always, every episode.
As always. And I love that he's all, they will never, a Mandalorian and a Jedi working together, they'll never see it coming.
They'll never see it coming. Love it.
Is it coming?
Incredible.
So I like that. I said that's true. They will never see that coming. And so they decided they have to free the 3 prisoners first. That's what she wants. The 3 prisoners completely freed. That's the next. That's what she wants to have happen.
Yes.
I think Ryan froze.
Oh no! You froze on my. Oh, now we're good.
We're good. So he froze. Okay. I froze. We all froze. You scream, I scream. Okay. Right. But yeah. So that definitely. They want to get the 3 prisoners. Get those. And then they go for the showdowns. Basically, they literally go. They send them after them. It's she comes back there, shows up badass, and like just like, oh, I'm here. Like, hi, I'm here. Her and homegirl, lots of stare. Her and Morgan, lots of stares at each other, like 2 chicks would. Just staring, just like giving each other the evil eye, like, yeah, bitch. They were like, they were. She was like not happy. She was not happy that Ahsoka was still alive. She was like, no, this is not happy. Michael Bean's character, which I don't know if he had a name, he gets sent out there with the droids and things, and the first to try to get her. Of course, she beats everybody. She gets everybody taken care of.
She was cleaning up, and I'll tell you, the action was flawless.
Yes,
so cool. There was even a shot where she had like 2 sabers and went like that, which I think she does that in the Clone Wars or in Rebels. The same exact, like they were throwing out all the references. It was just astonishing.
Oh, I should say she did show up first with the one piece of the Mandalorian thing, saying like, "And the bounty hunter, your bounty hunter failed." And so to make her believe like that was kind of cool.
Through the shoulder plate.
Yes, and that was kind of cool.
And who knew? I didn't know this before this episode, but the armor could, like, a lightsaber couldn't pierce it. Because up until now, like, a lightsaber can usually go through mostly anything. But the Beskar armor, that was, wow. Incredible.
Oh. Well, she also sliced that bell thing in half. I was like, we were laughing. We're like, oh dang, sliced right through it, and then one piece fell over. I was like, oh dang.
That was,
That
oh
was
gosh, it was just awesome.
so they basically, and here's the funniest part of the episode that made me kind of laugh. It was so good though. So after all that, and I was wondering where there was one more droid that was up there. So I remember it flipped up on a roof, and it went off. And I was wondering where that droid went. And later on, they shoot it down at the end. But I was like, I wonder where that droid went. The fellas were outside the gate. The chicks were inside the gate. I kind of loved the direction. I want to go back to the direction, the Dave Filoni's direction. What was very interesting was the fellas could hear them fighting. It was they would cut away, and as they're about to have their own kind of quiet showdown,
Right.
the real showdown was happening, and it would cut back and forth. You could hear we see the fight, then we hear it from their perspective. I loved that direction.
So cool. It reminded me a lot of, I don't know if anyone's seen Kill Bill, but the first volume 1 when she fights Oranishi.
Yes.
Very similar fight with the water, and they're just talking like, who do you think's gonna win? And they're kind of playing a more subtle. They have a more subtle fight of like, okay, is he going to shoot? Is he not going to shoot? Just that's the Western fight. There's the samurai fight going on in there.
Yes, it was, and I love it. So let's put that fight scene. The fight scene alone was so good. It's the way, the execution of it, the direction of it, the cinematography, everything, that whole setup. It was completely samurai, or complete Western, whatever you want to call it. It was a duel, and a duo because there's two of them. But it was them. She was like, she wanted the information. She wanted it, and Homegirl was not giving it to her. And I like the water setting, and it was just like, and they both were fighting. It was so good. It was so good. And the two guys' commentary is like, well, we both would stand up for our sides, and we don't lay our lives down for our sides, and your side will win or my side will win. Like it was very interesting to have them. The guys weren't the big ending. The big one was going on with the chicks. Very cool.
Very cool. And obviously there's a winner in both of those fights, which Mando and Ahsoka. But before Ahsoka wins, this was a really, in fact, other than seeing Ahsoka, this was the biggest part of the episode for me. She pulls her close. She gets rid of the staff, saber to the throat, and is like, "Where is your master? Where is he?" And then brings her close. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, James, this is a big character it's been in the Star Wars universe in like different iterations.
Oh, yeah. I totally knew that. I was like, I know this name. Yeah.
Yeah, like he had been in there were these books that came out after the original movies.
Yes.
That he was the main antagonist, and that happened right after Return of the Jedi. Since then, those books have kind of been like retconned, but the character has appeared in Star Wars Rebels, which also has Ahsoka. And this was a huge reveal if you've seen that show, where like, oh wow, he's still around. Holy cow. And he is a incredible villain.
So that's her master.
That's her master. And that also means like he must be around. This must be another huge villain or character that is around. I mean, this is a guy who, the way that they kind of describe him is he invades planets and just takes them over, but he does all this research and he figures out like every weakness of the planet, every resource, and he targets those spots. And like, that's what he was kind of known for. But in Rebels, we didn't really know what his fate was. It was a mystery at the end. And now we know he's still around. Crazy.
Yes. I have the books. Yeah. So, I mean, it's complete. It's funny because she let her live, I guess. We don't know, right? She didn't kill her.
Didn't kill. Well, I don't know. Do you think she killed her?
They cut her away. They cut away.
I bet she's in one of those like cage things.
Probably. That was my only complaint. Was like, why didn't they show that to us?
Right.
Like,
we don't know if she said where Admiral Thrawn is either.
But outside the gate, when Homeboy was like, "Looks like you won. Your side won," I kind of laughed, and he put down his gun. But I knew he was gonna try to go for another gun. I knew it. I was like, that was total Western right there. It was like samurai on the inside, high noon on the outside. I was like, he's gonna go for his gun. He's like, he can't help himself. And then when he did, of course, Mando takes him out. I mean, of course he did.
Takes him out.
You know, and then of course that droid, he goes, Mando, turn around, and that droid comes and shoots him. Oh, and they do let the 3 prisoners out. The guy earlier takes them in, so the prisoners are fine. But that was my only complaint, was like, we don't know what really happened to Morgan, so we don't know what. So hopefully that's a plot point that'll come up later.
Maybe, and I mean, James, for me, this was very much like a test pilot for an Ahsoka show.
It completely was.
There hasn't been a formal announcement yet. A lot of people have been speculating on it, but that's what I got from this.
Oh, it's a great pilot-esque
backdoor
episode.
Pilot.
Backdoor pilot. That's right. Backdoor pilot. That's what it's called. That's right. It was a backdoor pilot. It was.
I'm in. Sign me
completely. So Ahsoka gives Mando the staff. After all, says, "Here you go. It should be in your hands." And that guy, I guess, is made emperor or whatever he's made. I don't know his name, or he's made whatever. He's wearing the cape and everything, so he's, I guess, in charge again or whatever.
Right.
I don't know his name.
I love how we kind of knew he used to be in charge too. Like they never said it, but I knew. I was like, oh, that guy's probably in charge before.
Yeah, I knew it. That he was taken down. They came in, took over, and I had a feeling that's what would happen. That's very Star Wars. That's very science fiction. Period. That's kind of what
I was half expecting to see this guy.
I know,
Giancarlo, but we didn't know. No Giancarlo at the end.
And that's what I'm saying. It's kind of crazy because when that was done, we're like, wait a minute, so that's it? I mean, there's a little more to talk about in a second, but when that's it, we're just like, I told my brother, I said, well, remember, Boba Fett's still out there, Moff Gideon's still out there, that, you know, the Vance guys. I mean, there's a lot of people, they're characters, and of course, all his friends, they're still out there on that planet. So, like, there's people there. I mean, but I was kind of like, is that it with Ahsoka, though? Is that it?
Is that it? I mean, I think, unfortunately, and you know, now that I'm kind of seeing your critique from earlier, I do tend to agree. I think that is it for her on this season. Although I'm all about it. I loved seeing her this episode. Yeah. I am a little like, okay, the thing, maybe my one critique kind of bleeds into yours. I'm shocked he didn't share any of the information that we learned last week, which was, yeah, it looks like they were taking his blood for something. They're doing some tests.
You're right. He didn't say that. That's right.
Pretty key information to just leave out. Like maybe she would have been like, you know what? I'll escort you to this planet. Like right. I know they have their own journey and everything, but I don't know. I think that's some key information to leave out.
It's almost like the show straddles the line between being episodic, where it's just like every episode self-contained almost, and also having arcs. I mean, the arc, there is an overall arc, obviously, this season. It's him getting to, you know, the child off there. But it just feels like it goes back and forth. And so I said, my only critique when I saw this, I go, these are great characters, keep introducing these great characters, but they're literally one-offs. Yes, they return at some point, but it's like, I want to see a few kind of, I mean, the frog lady lasted a couple episodes. I mean, she was cool.
You're right. I mean, even Haywood Wong in the chat was agreeing with you. I mean, saying you didn't like it. Ahsoka didn't want to train Grogu. You know, again, I bought the explanation as to why she can't train him, but it's a little hard for me to believe that he wouldn't share that info with them and that she wouldn't like kind of escort them.
Right.
I don't know.
And well, so at the end, turns out she says to take him to the planet Triton.
Tython, or
Python.
I think it's like Python, but with a T.
Yeah, exactly. Sit him on the temple, and he will choose.
Sit him on the Seeing Stone. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, okay, exactly.
I imagine that's what the thing on like the $1 bill with the eye is. The Seeing Stone on the top of the temple.
And she says there's not a lot of Jedi left. That's another little thing she threw out there.
And that one might search for him. So I took the liberty of writing down all the potential Jedi that would maybe be alive during this time period. Some of these aren't confirmed. Number one easily is Luke Skywalker. Now, obviously, this would be a young Luke. This would be like a either digitally, de-aged Mark Hamill, or maybe you throw Sebastian Stan in there and do a little.
Okay, yeah.
That's what some people have speculated. It's a possibility. That would be probably the boldest choice any TV show has ever made if they were to do that. So I don't know. I don't think that that's a likely option, but I think after this episode, everything's on the table. So there's that. There's this guy whose name's Cal Kestis. He's in a not brand new, it's about a year old, a video game called Jedi Fallen Order. Came out last year. And he was a Jedi who survived Order 66. We don't know what his fate was like before the original. So maybe he's out there. There's Leia.
Yes, Leia.
There is a Leia. I don't know if she had been trained at this point, but Leia. And last but not least, oh my God. Well, I mean, and then there's Ahsoka, obviously. And then there's anyone that maybe Luke started training, but again, it's 5 years. Like, I don't know.
Well,
there's not many options.
But Ryan, you know this. They can make up an option. I mean, they can go with Luke. They can go Luke and say, well, or someone trained with Leia, or someone. I mean, they can say anything, and go. My master was Luke Skywalker.
Here's the one other, and this is the big probable answer. The main character in Star Wars Rebels. I cannot believe I'm forgetting his name right now, but he disappeared with Ezra Bridger. That's his name, Ezra Bridger. He disappeared with Admiral Thrawn at the end of that show, and now we know that Admiral Thrawn is alive, meaning he's probably alive too. So he is the one other Jedi that we know that's alive during this time. So it is probably him. We'll have to see.
Mace Windu's dead, isn't he?
That's even. You know what? Let's add a fourth option. Mace Windu.
I don't know if he's dead either, but
we never saw a body. And I know Samuel L. has been bring me back.
I know Samuel L.
That's actually, people might roll their eyes at that. I think that's a legitimate option.
Yeah, I think so.
A legitimate. They'd have to really explain it, but I think that's a legitimate option.
They were bringing it up in the chat room too. I said, I think Mace Windu. I think he died, quote unquote, died, but I don't think he
got electrocuted out a window,
right?
Like a 40-story window. But if anyone could survive,
it'd be Mace Windu. It'd be Samuel L. Jackson. It'd be Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
He survived snakes on a plane. He survived all kinds of stuff. He could survive some
the Avengers.
The Avengers, exactly. Avengers. He could survive some electrocution out a window. Did we hear his voice in the last Star Wars movie?
We did. Yeah, he was.
We did. You're right. We did.
We heard everyone's voice in that one.
I will say that. That anything. That's That's so funny. But that's so funny. People can survive anything. It's dramatic license. Anything can happen. That's what I say.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. That's what I say. We said now Jedi left one. Ooh.
The one.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you go.
I was like, makes it say, oh, yeah, it's funny. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what about the option of, what if it's a Sith that goes after him?
I was gonna say that too. There's that too.
I don't know who that would be.
Oh,
but it could be a Sith.
Folks. Mueller. I mean that's the thing about the show. It's so open because of the time period. There's so many different options that can happen.
Yeah.
Actually, and when she said there's not many Jedi left, that gave him to know that there's not that many left. So he's not. So he doesn't look that hard. There's not that many. Always have to look hard to find one. It's like one or the other. I have a feeling we don't give previews for next episode. So next episode, I guess, will be him landing on that planet.
Hey, guess what's interesting about next week? We know who's doing the last two episodes, but this third one, just process of elimination. It's Robert Rodriguez directing it.
Right.
It's the guy who did Machete.
Right.
Spy Kids. So are we gonna get? I'm really curious to see what happens next week. I also hear next week's a bit of a shorter one. It's gonna be 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's no synopsis. We don't have any details, so don't know what to expect.
I just feel like this was the big turning point, middle of the season episode. Now we're going down to the last three. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they're going to give us. but mentioning going to the temple, mentioning all that, I'm very excited to see what happens. Who had the baby before Mando took him?
We don't know.
Don't know.
Well, it was like some bounty hunters.
Yeah.
On that planet, but we don't know the other middleman. We don't know who took him from that temple.
We don't. That's the whole point. Just saying someone. She said, Ahsoka said, someone took him. We don't know. They don't know who it was.
Right.
So that's a big revelation too that may or may not happen. We may find out exactly who took.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I get a little nervous. I don't want them just to throw out a lot of names or a lot of guest stars just because I wanted to work within the system. I love crossovers. I love mentions. I always get nervous. I want solid story. I just want some solid. So far, it's been solid. I've liked the season solid. I wish some people would stay around a little longer just because it was just kind of good. But I guess now last episode, I don't know.
It's a fair point, and I do think that is something that's a little, it's weird about this show. It's not the typical drama TV we get nowadays. It is adventure of the week with a through line. I do think if this is anything similar to season 1, though, the people he met at the beginning of season 1 came back and helped him. So there might be a scenario where he needs people to like protect them while they're going to this temple. Maybe we get Carl Weathers back. Maybe we get Ahsoka. I doubt it, but these are all legitimate options. Maybe we get Cobb Vanth. Who knows?
I know I liked Cobb Vanth. Really. So that's what I'm saying. So I guess I have no predictions because the show is so unpredictable. I don't know what the finale will be. It could be one of those everybody against Moff Gideon, possibly. I don't know. It could be that. We have no idea. So I'm very curious. But I think right now the next steps are getting the child to that temple, and let's see what happens. Like what happens to the child. I'm very excited to see what happens. What happens there. I'm very curious.
I know
what's going to happen there. Like, it's going to explode. It's going to turn into mini Yodas. Like, what's going to happen? Like, what is he going to do? I'm very curious to know. What is he going to start talking? I was like, curious. Like, what is he going to do while he's there? I'm very curious. Very, 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 very curious. What's going to happen because this season's been a little more of him, and Boba Fett has to come back, which I agree with. Hey,
you're right.
Boba Fett's out. He's out there.
And that's a really good point too. I do hope that is the bookend. I hope that first episode, here he is. Last episode, let's get that encounter. Let's get Tamara Morrison with some lines of dialogue. I am all for that. And I would actually, as exciting as all the Jedi stuff is, as exciting as like, oh, is he going to get trained by Ahsoka? As much as I love Ahsoka, I got a t-shirt on right now. I got a Lego action figure on my desk. I would freak out way more with the conversation between Boba Fett and Din Djarin. So give us that.
And I have a feeling they're going to give us that. So far, this show does deliver. It has delivered.
Yeah, this has been like the best part of 2020. Literally, this is not disappointed at all.
I totally agree. So I think it will deliver. We just don't know. Again, we don't know what they're keeping all the episodes tight to the vest. We don't know what's going to happen next. It's in a way it's kind of refreshing. I'm used to reading things, and there's nothing to read. We just all they released was basically who was writing and directing.
I gotta read you this. The plot description of this episode is hysterical. It is like,
okay, read
it. It is the Mandalorian and the child continue their dangerous journey in a galaxy far, far away. That's the description. Like, they're not revealing anything. You could put that on any episode.
Oh yeah, nothing. As I'm saying, when I look at the info, there's nothing up there. Nothing up there. They're not giving nothing away, and so refreshing in this time because everything gets spoiled. So it's kind of nice to know. Yeah, it's kind of nice to actually. I was saying the other day, I wish I could binge watch this, but in a way, I'm kind of glad I'm not binge watching it. It's give me something every week. All of us are getting something every week, and I want to think about out there who think off not spoiling stuff for me. I know some of you guys, I didn't watch it at midnight like I usually do at midnight. I was in a game hands coma from Thanksgiving. So I couldn't stay awake. I was like, I can't stay awake.
Yeah, I didn't either. I said I would. I didn't either. I woke up this morning and watched it with my family.
Yeah, but so did I actually. So I did. So I just wanted.
It's the way
I
you
couldn't
do it.
I had too much eggnog. It was fun watching it with the family. Actually, I never did it before. I was watching by myself, so it's fun watching it with them.
I think that was another special thing about this. It just felt like, all right, we just hit a point of no return. You know, like we just got his whole backstory. We just got the name. We just got Ahsoka. We just got here's the new objective. All this stuff. There were a lot of risks. Like that was the thing that was just so, I think, engaging about this episode is, wow, like they're making big choices right now, and it's exciting. It's exciting.
Hayward wants to know, Ryan, do you know anything about the place that Mando has to drop off Grogu?
Right. Okay. This is going to sound like so nerdy. So just fair warning. But Tython, this is a planet we have not actually like seen on screen before, but there is a comic book
there is
called Dr. Aphra, which follows a character named Dr. Aphra, and it takes place right before the original trilogy. There's also a book with her. It's phenomenal. You should check it out. But there's one excerpt. There's one like moment in that book where Dr. Aphra fakes out Darth Vader. Like they're supposed to go to this planet to do something, and she tricks him into going to this planet, and he arrives, and it's not what he's looking for. But at this planet, you realize it's very similar to the planet Luke was on in the sequel trilogy, Octu, with the porgs and like the islands. It's like that. It's an old Jedi temple where a lot of the Jedi kind of started. So this is like an ancient temple.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of books coming out about like the High Republic.
Yeah,
I assume that this planet might be involved in there as well. Okay. So it's an ancient Jedi temple planet.
Okay. Yeah, the books. I've got the books are coming out too.
I know. We got content to devour.
Content. And I have another show, folks, to talk about that content called Darth Vader's Your Father. So we will.
Right.
Any Star Wars content, we'll talk about it. And Ryan will be like on that show too if he reads the books. I plan on reading the books, so we'll see what.
I'm definitely planning on reading the books.
Yeah, I plan on reading the books. I'm really curious to see these newer books, see what they're doing. I'm very excited. I know this episode was good. That was your episode. That was chapter 13, folks. I mean,
the Jedi.
I just can't believe it. Folks, I have another show called Darth Vader Is Your Father. 3 new episodes in December. All exciting stuff. You will not want to miss them. It comes out on Wednesdays here on JLJ Media. Just go ahead and follow me on those things and watch those. And we'll be back again, of course, next week doing another episode. This is my vacation weekend, and I came back. This is the only show I'm doing the whole weekend because it's that important. This is that important. Nice. They could not wait. I think now, if I try to wait till Monday to talk about this, I couldn't do that. No, that's not going to work. We have to talk about it now. We have to talk about it now in the moment. And I'm so glad. But this show is such a gift, and I'm really enjoying it. And I think they did a great job this season. Like I said, I have my little tiny criticisms, but overall, I like the season so far. No sophomore slump here. Nope. I don't think so.
No sophomore slump whatsoever.
No, nothing whatsoever. Not at all, folks. Ryan, tell them folks where they can find you on the social media.
You guys can find me at Ryan Nilsen, RYNILSEN. Tweet at James and I throughout the week your theories about what's coming up next week, about the episodes, about Star Wars in general. We'll reply with some gifts and some of our thoughts as well. So just constantly at Ryan Nilsen. Tweet at us, and SCN. This is Schmodown Entertainment Network, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. James Lott Jr.
Yes, JLJ Media is on everywhere. It's on every streaming service platform. My second audio series that I created, Mistletoe Road, kicks off JLJ Media Christmas. That audio series comes out on Monday. I'm so excited for you guys to hear it. It's only audio, folks. I wrote it, directed it, co-produced it. It's when 3 people get stuck in Christmas City. And one of your favorite former AfterBuzz hosts is in it. The lead, Flobo Boyce. He's one of the leads. First time ever audio acting. So he plays a lead. And 2 newcomers, Happiness Carter and Travis Cunha, play the leads also. Tammy Doc Govea is in it. And many others. Yes, and many others from the AfterBuzz world kind of come in. And Kirsten is in the chat room. She's in it. Kirsten Drake is in it also. So Mistletoe Road It's going to be out everywhere on Monday the 30th. Kicks off JLJ Media Christmas. And we'll have more of these, more Star Wars stuff coming, everything coming out. So follow me there. And follow me where all James Lott Jr. is sold. At James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms, including TikTok. Follow me on TikTok.
TikTok.
It's Ahsoka, Baby Yoda's. I'll say hello. The Krogerus say hello. Thank you guys in the chat room. Thank you so much. Anybody who's watching this afterwards, thank you for watching it. Share it with everybody. And those of you guys who are listening, because we're getting lots of more downloads. So you guys who are listening to this audio version, hello, podcast listener.
Hello.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you too. Whether you're here live or later, doesn't matter. Share it with everybody. May the force be with you, and we'll see you next time.
Always.